you doing? How you doing? Welcome to episode 14 of Laser Show. How you doing? And what an episode this is. What a fun ep. For episode 14, we're talking about 2014's biggest event in my life. That's right, folks. We are coming up on the 10-year anniversary of my episode of New Girl. 10 freaking years ago that aired, almost. And I've been fine since. Everything's been fine and good. No worries at all. Trajectory has stayed on course exactly how I thought it would be after being on New Girl at 26 years old. Everything's been good. 2014, great year. New Girl, to this day, is by far the thing I get if I ever get recognized and out in the wild, which is pretty rare. Pretty rare. People go, how do I know you? It's 90% of the time it's from New Girl. Which is funny because it was only a couple of scenes. But what a memorable couple of scenes. Just a clinic put on by me. An unforgettable performance. An incomparable acting clinic I put on. So funny, so good. But to this day, that is for sure the thing I get recognized for the most. Occasionally some overly excited tourist. Maybe a little Dead Kevin action, little American Vandal action. Usually it's New Girl. People just love that freaking show. New Girl was the first thing, and to this day, one of very, very few things that I've ever booked just off of I got an audition for it, and I went in, and I did the audition, and I got it. Almost everything else that I've booked, if I've been on TV for whatever reason, has been through I know the director, or I know the casting person, or they know me from Dead Kevin, or this or that. It's very rare to just, they don't know you, you don't know them, you audition, and they liked your audition despite not knowing who you are, and they gave you a role. Especially on a big show like New Girl. It was pretty rare, I found since. That was also back in the day when auditions used to be in person. Oh, Lord, that's how old I am. You used to have to go into rooms with people and do the audition for the casting people. Jesus! What the hell kind of hellscape were we living in? Now it's all self-tapes. And you can do 50 takes and send the best one. Back in these days, back in 2014, you got one shot, like ham and ham. And I took my one shot. I went in to this casting agency on Wilshire Boulevard in LA. And the role was for a magician. A comedy magician named Jacob. Dreamy Eyes Jacob. The comedy magician. And so you had to, in the audition, you had to faux do these magic tricks. The character at the end of the episode does, a bunch of magic tricks. And I don't know magic. A little fun fact about me, I don't know any real magic. Or even any fake magic. I don't know any magic. But I went in, and for the audition, just pretended to be holding things, and whatever I had to do. I made a quarter disappear. I pulled a Twizzler out of my nose. Tricks like that. In the audition, I was just miming holding these things. But I was doing a great flourish. I can do a good flourish as though I'm doing a good magic trick. That I will say. I'm good with my little flamboyant little movements. What with me being gay and all. So I really was making the casting agent laugh with my flourishes, and I went really silly with the audition. Silly Willy with this audition. And found out a couple days later that I had booked it. And this was August of 2014. It's all happening very fast. It films next week in LA. I get to go on a date. The episode is the main character, played by Zooey Deschanel, gets on a dating app called Dice, and then goes on a bunch of really bad dates. And she's so sick of it. And then she meets my character, and she likes the date. And then things fall apart. So I'm very excited. I just booked this part where I get to go on a date with Zoe motherfucking Deschanel. Hubba hubba. Don't mind if I do. So I'm stoked. But it shoots really soon, and I have to learn magic soon. So they send a magician to my apartment at like 10 p.m. This was like a busy, busy week already. And everything moves really fast in this damn business. And they were like, we got to send a magician. You got to learn these tricks. So we're going to send, Fox is going to send a magician to your apartment. And I was doing something, I forget. I had a show or he had something, I forget. The only time he could come over to my apartment was at 10 p.m. one night. And he teaches me some of the magic tricks that I have to do. And it really is all about the flourish, so I'm feeling pretty good about my ability. I had to make a quarter disappear. I'm just going to tell you how all the tricks are done. I had to make a quarter disappear, which is you just hold a fake thumb in your other hand, palm it, hide it. When you stuff the quarter into your fake thumb, as though you were stuffing the quarter into your palmed hand, and then do a flourish. Make your hands kind of a little bit hard to see, and then the quarter's gone. But really, it's inside the fake thumb that is on my opposite hand. So that's how you do that one. I also had to have these metal rings and pull them apart, and all that is one of the rings has just like a little fucking trap, little door, and you just pull it through. That one is really anticlimactic. Pulling the Twizzler out of the nose I had to do, that's a cool thing that I can just kind of do now. You got to just trap it like in your nostril and pull it down. That one's not that cool. But I can still kind of do it. I'll do it right now with this pencil. Oh, dude, that was sick. You guys should have seen how well that went. Yeah, I still got it. And then I also had to, I don't know. I had to pull a hat out of a rabbit. That's how the episode ends, is me pulling a hat out of a rabbit. And they don't show it in the episode because it's really gruesome what happened. I had to really pull a hat out of a rabbit's ass, and it died. They did have a real rabbit on set, though. I was just kidding. I didn't really kill a rabbit, but they did have a real rabbit on set. I got to hold a beautiful, beautiful rabbit. Oh, I got to hold a beautiful rabbit, and I also had to make it like an egg appear in my hand. That one was just a flourish. I was just holding it, and then I did a flourish. Those were like the 5 tricks. So this guy comes to my apartment, teaches me these tricks. And, I got to practice the tricks. A couple days later, I receive a phone call that I have to go to New York imminently to audition for SNL. If you listen to the last episode, that's how that went down. I had a friend in town, too. I screwed him over. That's okay. He later stole $300 from me. So, we're even. But all these things, when it rains, it pours. You go years, months if not years, just not booking shit and nothing happens. And then, oh my God, you booked New Girl. Oh shit, you actually have to go audition for SNL tomorrow. And scheduling wise, I needed to be in audition for SNL on like a Wednesday or whatever it was. And the New Girl was filming on Thursday. So what the fuck? And that's SNL's in New York, and New Girl films in LA. So I was gonna have to audition for SNL. I didn't get it. I don't know if you heard, but I did not get it. Pete Davidson got it, and good for him. He needed it. He needed it more than I did. I'm doing really, really good. So I'm glad he got that. But so I have to, after my SNL audition, and I prank my manager. You gotta hear episode 13. Pretty good story. Prank my manager. The next day I have 6 a.m. flight out of New York. Like the call time is like 9 a.m. in LA. And I wake up that day in New York. So I gotta fly, and I'm in the airport 6 a.m. Well, really like 4:30, 5 a.m. Practicing my magic tricks. I'm fucking pulling metal rings apart. I'm stuffing a fake quarter into a fake thumb. In the airport, you see weirdos at the airport all the time. They're not often just practicing magic. It was very embarrassing. Because I was so nervous that my first time ever on TV, I had to do magic tricks. And I don't do magic. nerve-wracking enough I have to be on TV and go on a date with Zoe Deschanel. and hope I don't make a fool of myself or do anything stupid. I also have to, like, what if I can't do the magic tricks? And they have to keep cutting. And then I get all stressed out and nervous. So I was just practicing my magic tricks my whole time I was in New York. Probably why I didn't get SNL. I was really focused on doing these magic tricks. But I nailed them. If you watch that episode, I nailed them. Arrive in LA, Uber straight to set, the Fox lot in like Culver City, California. And I go straight to set, and I go straight to honestly, I meet whoever it is, second AD, say hi to everybody. They bring me right over. I meet Zoe right away. She goes, "Hi, I'm Zoe." I go, "Whoa, my goodness, I'm Ryan." And then I meet Max, who plays Schmidt. Those are the only two cast members that I met. And they were great. I get into my my costume. They gave me a nice t-shirt, which I still have. The t-shirt gets mentioned in the scene. It's like an ice cream place. She goes, "Are you from Portland?" I ended up getting to keep that t-shirt. And so that's pretty cool. So I shoot all day with Zoe. I have really two scenes. And they're both with Zoe, bro. She was so great. She was very nice to me. She called me Rye Guy all day. Called her Zoe, bro, a couple times. That one wasn't as cool. Not sure if she liked that. And she was very nice to me. She, would sneak candies from Crafty, and she would be handing candies to me over our date table. There was a couple times when we had lines back and forth, and they said, "Hey, can we, after you say your lines, just look at each other for like a really long time before saying like this other line?" There is, if you watch the episode, there's a moment we kind of lock eyes and we just kind of look at each other for a while, and we're like falling in love. And in real life, I can't deal with silence at all. So I was really struggling to like leave enough time. And they kept being like, even more time. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but just look in each other's eyes for like 20 seconds. So, oh my God, we had to just look at each other and just like smile. And it was very awkward. And it was also a very hot August day in LA. And we're shooting outside. And I am sweating buckets through my pastel green shirt that they gave me. So, they had to, in between scenes, they had a guy come over with a blow dryer, and I had to raise my arms, and he had to blow dry my armpits in front of Zooey Deschanel. He had to come blow dry my armpits. And it was too much work, so eventually they got armpit pads, which are armpit sweat pads, and those worked great. Those are just these sticky pads you stick to the inside of your shirt on the armpit, and it soaks up the sweat. And that, to this day, I use those. I use them almost every time I headline a show, because I have to do like 45, 50 minutes, and I'm nervous, I'm sweating, I move around a lot. And I have some, jokes where I might raise my arms. Very physical, I'm a very funny physical comedian. And so, my pits just fucking sweat a lot. They just do. And I like wearing pastels. So to this day, I still use armpit pads. One time a girl ripped off my armpit pad mid-show. I invited her to do it. And then she kept it, and I signed it after the show. So feel free if you want to do that. If you want my armpit pads after a show, I'll sign them. They smell really good. My sweat smells really good. It smells like chocolate. I sweat chocolate out my armpits. It's nasty stuff, but it smells good. A great day I had with Zoe. She said, "Want to go run lines?" Before we shot our like second scene where I come back and I do the magic. So we went off into just like a bench, just a clearing on the Fox lot, and we ran our lines together. I says, "Can I show you my magic trick and see if you think it looks like magic?" And I showed her the quarter one. Stuff the quarter into my fake thumb and do my flourish. And I said, "What do you think? Can you see how I did it?" And she goes, "Is that a fake thumb?" I said, "Fuck." So she saw it right away. very smart, observant, perceptive lady. There were some scenes where Zoe and Max Schmidt, they had their little scene talking together. And Max was really cool. They were talking to me because I told them, I was like, yeah, I just flew in straight from SNL. And they were asking me about that. And they were very polite. They were like, that sounds like hell. What a crazy day. Thanks for being here. I'm like, thank you. So they were both very sweet. Then so my final scene with Zobro, do my magic. The final thing is I'm doing my magic for her. So we filmed all of her takes, and then we flipped the cameras around to film me doing the tricks. And for that, Zoe got to leave, and I had to do my tricks to a stand-in who looked like Zoe from behind. And the stand-in was wonderful. She actually came to a show of mine years later. I remember I was opening for Dimitri. Yes, it wasn't a show of mine. She came to see Dimitri Martin, but it was a brief period in my life where I had a Band-Aid on my face because I got a mole removed from my chin, so I had to wear a Band-Aid on my face, and I was doing big shows opening for Dimitri Martin. When I say everything happens all at once, everything everywhere all at once, and then months and years of nothing. You're booking stuff, you're getting moles removed. It's all sorts of bullshit. And then afterwards, after I finished my scene, I went to go see if Zoe was still around. I wanted to say bye. I wanted to get a picture with her. And she was so nice to me. If she wasn't nice to me, I would for sure not want to, talk to her. But I was like, I feel like I could seek her out. She was very nice to me all day. She said, you know what she said to me at one point? She said, you're really good. You're going to have your own TV show one day. And you know what? She was wrong. But that was really nice of her to say. I would like to follow up with her and let her know that she was wrong. And I have tried to follow up. After the next day, I was pretty smitten. She's beautiful. And she was so nice. But the next day, a couple days later after I stopped shooting, I DM'd her on Instagram and was like, hey, that was me, Dreamy Eyes Jacob. That's what she calls me in the episode. I for sure didn't call myself that in the DM. I said, hey, it was me from the Comedy Magician. It was really nice working with you. Didn't respond. That's okay. I tried again years later. I was like, hey, it's me again, the Comedy Magician. Just saw you had a couple kids. How are the kids doing? How's life? Didn't respond to that. Why would she? So I did try. I did try to strike up a friendship. I thought me and Zobro could have been buds. But anyway, so I went to go find her at the end, and she was still around. And I asked if she could take a picture, and she had no makeup on. She said, okay, but I gotta be standing in the shadows. I said, okay. So we have a picture together of her standing in the shadows, and I'm wearing my nice pastel green, tealish kind of shirt with my armpit pads. And yeah, to this day, that's been almost 10 years, and it's been hard to come by just good old-fashioned auditions that book until actually just recently I just got one. I just booked 3 lines on Abbott Elementary. It's a popular little ABC show. It can be seen on Hulu. It's really not an important character. It could easily be cut out. So I hope they don't do that. But pretty stoked about that. But I did have to cancel. Like I say, everything happens all at once, and it gets frustrating. I had to cancel a bunch of only 3 shows coming up, which sucks because one of them was about to sell out, and I do not sell out shows. That's pretty rare for me. But they were crushing it with ticket sales, unprecedented ticket sales. The producer, the booker, said in the email. So he was pretty bummed I had to cancel that. But I will be back soon. So yeah, if you're listening to this, if you hadn't heard, I got to cancel my shows in Chippewa Falls, Eau Claire, and Davenport. But I'll be back soon. It'll be fine. But yeah, that's I've booked maybe 3 things ever. I think the Orville was like that. Good old-fashioned audition, booked it. Didn't know Seth MacFarlane. Though he does follow me on Twitter for some reason. He liked a really dumb tweet of mine years ago and followed me ever since, but he's never liked anything. I don't know what the deal is with that. So maybe that doesn't even count. It might just be New Girl and Abbott Elementary as things where I just did an audition and they just liked it. So anyway, so look out for that. Probably 2024 or something. I play a zookeeper. And I have 3 lines, and I had to cancel 1 comedy show per line that I got. That's how it works. You gotta do it. It's a really important thing. Build the resume. Have old Abbott Elementary on the old resume. if they keep my character in. But yeah, that was, I guess, my new girl story. I love to tell people that I met Zooey Deschanel, and she was really nice. I thought she was great. I think highly of her. And that's that. So probably back to more tour episodes coming up. Hope to see you out on the road. Please come see me these final few shows here of 2023. And in 2024, I got more. I'm going to be coming back to the places that I had to miss, okay? You're not missing much. You're not missing much. Capiche? Hey, thanks for listening. How you doing? This has been episode 14 of Laser Show. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.